Welcome. My name is Elise Radebush, and today's therapy tip is about intentions, what they are, why they're helpful, how we choose them, and ways to practice them. Intentions are adjectives, descriptors. They describe how we'd like to experience ourselves and our lives, overall and in small moments. We don't choose a particular intention to achieve any goal or task, but to describe how we want to be in the achieving of any goal or task. They can give us clarity and direction. I've always thought it a curious thing that we ask young people what they want to be when they grow up. I think a much more helpful question is, who do you want to be when you grow up? Encouraging them to think about their character instead of their prospective occupation feels much more important. Intentions are a way to move more deliberately, more mindfully through our life. We can choose broad, overarching intentions, for example, by asking, what kind of a person do I want to be? What kind of a parent? What kind of a spouse? What honors me? How do I want to feel in the world? And the answers are personal. Do you want to be humble, generous, lighthearted, straightforward, vibrant, resilient, wise, reliable, spontaneous? They don't have to be so broad either. We can ask ourselves, how do I want to feel today? Optimistic, energetic, excited? Or on a much smaller scale, intentions might also be selected for specific tasks or situations. Hey, sweetie. How do I want to come across in the meeting this afternoon? Professional, thorough, warm? Or even, how do I want to feel while I'm doing these dishes? Grounded in my body, relaxed, content. Intentions are helpful because they invite us to pause and shift our perspective from a passive reactor in our lives to an active creator in our lives. They invite us to care about our personal experience, to think about what we want to be experiencing, and to move toward experiencing more of that. In the garden of our life, clarifying intentions is planning our flower beds. It's deciding what flowers delight and attract us, and moving toward experiencing more of them. If we know we want to feel gratitude, have the intention of being grateful, we can keep a gratitude journal to highlight things we appreciated that day. If we have the intention of being productive, we may write down everything we accomplished in the day. Our attention to things we're grateful for and ways we're being productive will lead us to keep looking for and finding more examples, and the feelings will build. Feeling grateful makes us feel grateful. Noticing how productive we're being helps us feel competent and successful, which makes us feel more productive and makes us be more productive. Knowing what our intentions are isn't difficult. We just need to be paying attention to how we feel. Sometimes we don't even need to be consciously aware of our intentions because we're living them. When we're acting in ways that honor us, that reflect who we want to be in the world, it feels good. It feels right. Things are going as we would like them to. It is often when we're feeling discomfort that we're reminded to stop and set or reconnect with an intention. Some days when I'm walking my dog, I'll feel a surge of impatience at the 10th tree he wants to linger at. But that impatience doesn't feel good, and it gets my attention, and I'm able to reconnect with my desire, my intention to be patient. I'm able to reconnect with my wish to allow our walks, these relatively short times in our day, to be about him and his enjoyment. That feels like kindness to me, which is an ongoing intention for me, and it feels good. I take a breath and I reset. On some days, I'm more on edge or in a hurry, and I have to keep pausing and breathing and reorienting toward that patience and kindness. It's not about getting it perfect. I've long ago adopted the permanent intentions of humility and perseverance. I'm never going to stop needing to remind myself of who I want to be and to embrace the need for correcting my course at times. Sometimes it's not momentary discomfort that gets our attention, it's deeper pain. Perhaps we're feeling depressed. Maybe we're believing that nothing is going right for us and never will. This does not feel good, and that feeling is information. It says that feeling despair and hopelessness is not what we want in our life. So we can flip that and ask ourselves what that tells us about what we do want. What would feel better than despair and hopelessness? Well, almost anything. Those are exceptionally painful states to be experiencing. But feelings that would directly counter them might be gratitude and hope. So we sit with those feelings a moment and see if the ideas of gratitude and hope resonate. If they trigger better feelings, then they're good intentions. Now, it's possible that the feeling of gratitude and hope feels impossible and leads your depressed brain to dump water on the despair and hopelessness weeds with renewed commitment. That's okay and will happen a lot. Remember, you may have been watering those weeds for a long time and the roots are deep. So pause, breathe, search for an intention that is just a nudge in a better direction instead of an about face. Maybe uncertainty is where you have to start. Maybe you're able to say, okay, I believe that nothing is going right for me and never will, but I can't know that for certain. Things may change. I only know what I know, and there's a lot I cannot know. I have been wrong about things in the past, and it's possible I'm wrong here. If that feels better, then start there and build from that. Uncertainty is also good because it encourages shifting from black and white thinking to gray. Maybe some things in my life are terrible, but not everything. Maybe some things are terrible, but some things are just very hard. And maybe some things are very hard, but have neutral aspects. You're inching toward better feelings. And let me stop for a moment and say that if you are feeling that way today, experiencing so much pain that you feel despair and hopelessness, I am so sorry. Those are incredibly difficult things to be experiencing. I know that. Please don't give up. Seek out help. There are many excellent therapists out there. Find someone who fits for you. Another time an intention is helpful is when we know a situation hasn't felt good in the past and we know we'll have it again. This is a great time to make a plan. Say we often get caught in arguments with a loved one. Maybe we know our intentions. Maybe we want to feel loving and strong and serene with that person, but we also know we're not getting there. Taking some time and allowing ourselves to think about that relationship and some specific moments we find ourselves feeling most off track is helpful. Look at the pattern of arguments and think about how you might interact differently if you were filled with love, strength, and serenity in those moments. Imagine it going differently, better. Get as vivid as you can. Imagine what your posture would feel like, what your facial expressions would be, how you might approach the conversation differently, your tone of voice, how you would listen. Imagine a predictable response and see yourself continuing to interact with love, strength, and serenity. You're watering flowers in your mind by that vivid, positive imagery, and those flowers will grow. Let's talk about a different, more complex situation that many of you may be in right now. Most of us are home now, and many parents are home with their kids full time. No school, no playgrounds, not even play dates. And add to that an expectation that the kids' schooling should continue. And oh yeah, you're needing to be working full time on your computer while managing the kids and their schoolwork. What a recipe for stress. And also a collision of intentions. Your work intentions may typically include being efficient, organized, focused. Your parenting intentions may include being fun, warm, clear, and calm. As an adult in a house, you might have intentions of being neat and clean too. Needless to say, something's got to give. There are times when you have to strip your intentions down to the most basic, most fundamental principles, where the bar has got to drop to the ground. Remembering our autonomic nervous system is helpful here, and the survival strategies of fight, flight, and freeze. This situation that so many of you are in today is overwhelming. I would totally expect you to be fluctuating between feelings of rage, longing to escape, bursting into tears, or shutting down. You can have whatever noble intentions you want, but they may feel totally out of reach. The thing that you have to start with is calm. I'd write it on your palm, on Post-its, on the bathroom mirror, since you're there washing your hands there every 5 minutes anyway. I'd write it everywhere. A reminder to breathe, to allow your body to settle, to forget about deadlines and learning goals and laundry, and simply be, and to allow your kids to be too. Breathe with them, and then, when you're all calm, maybe start watering little flowers. Perhaps you can play a game where each person takes a turn going from family member to family member and saying something nice to each other person. Keep a low bar. What is shared doesn't have to be profound or meaningful. It just has to be nudging toward appreciation, toward kindness. Maybe then ask each person to share a feeling that they enjoy. Maybe print out a list from online or give a few suggestions. You might get happy or cozy or loved or silly. But from there you have intentions and can encourage each person to try to do things that let them feel that feeling. Keep yourself and everyone focused on what they themselves can do. Little things, inching toward good feelings. This isn't specifically about intentions, but as I was thinking about what I wanted to share today, I kept getting a persistent image. This may not resonate with everyone, but I like to think that we all have an oldest, wisest, kindest, highest self, a kind of spirit self. I like to think that self loves us unconditionally and wants all good things for us. So the image that kept coming into my head was this self tenderly placing its arm around our shoulders and gently inviting us to turn in more helpful directions. It felt very supportive, and there was no judgment, just a patient willingness to walk with us on this journey. All right, I enjoyed being with you again today, and I wish you a wonderful, intention-filled day.